Here's how most parent training sessions go. You show up, check in, and figure it out on the fly. Maybe you talk through what's going on with the family, what happened in the past week. Maybe you revisit something from last session if you can even remember what you talked about. And somehow every week it feels like you're starting from zero. It's not because you're unprepared or because you're unmotivated. It's because your brain is doing the hardest part on repeat. And that's deciding what matters most right now. That's decision fatigue. And it's why even the most experienced BCBAs feel drained after a single parent training session. You're not just teaching, you're filtering through 100 options on the spot without a system to hold the thread. That's what we're going to fix in this video with a simple structure you can start using this week. The parent learning arc is a way to stop restarting every session and start building momentum instead. So here's the thing that we're really not prepared for. We're trained to focus on goals, data, and fidelity, but not on how to keep parent coaching from unraveling session after session. We show up, we teach a strategy, and the next week we teach another strategy. We hope one of them sticks. But real progress doesn't come from a consistent stream of new ideas. It comes from connection, from building where you left off. That's what threading really is. And threading only works if there's something consistent to carry forward. And that's why I started thinking differently about how to shape parent training sessions. Instead of looking for new content every time, I began to follow a rhythm, a learning arc that naturally builds momentum. I call it the parent learning arc. It's not a curriculum. It's a simple way to shape 3 or sometimes more sessions around the same idea. The first time you meet, you're not diving straight into instructions. You're starting a conversation. You're lighting a spark. You find one strategy that fits their real life and you explore it together. The next session, you're coming back to that same strategy. You're not repeating yourself. You're reinforcing the information you talked about in the previous session. You're asking what worked, what didn't, what still feels unclear, and you're helping the parent solidify what they've started. By the third session, you're stretching that skill into new territory, not adding pressure, but you're deepening the skill. You're helping the parent see how it fits into other parts of their day. That rhythm or arc becomes the thread. And when you have a thread, sessions stop feeling like restarts. They start feeling like progress. Now, here's what's most important. You're not going to remember everything, not when your day is packed with sessions, staff questions, and documentation, but you don't have to reread your notes or scroll through all the data. Just pull out your phone at the end of the session and spend 10 seconds. Record a voice memo for yourself. Say what happened, say how the parent responded, and say what felt most important in that session. Then, when you're on your way to the next session, just hit play. You'll sound like the most thoughtful coach in the world because you are. You just gave your future self a roadmap. Here's how I picture it in my head. It's a simple arc that guides you forward. First, you spark the learning, then you come back to strengthen it, and finally you expand it just enough to keep things moving. That's it. You're not winging it. You're threading a concept through real life. You're showing the parent that each session connects to the last one. And when that happens, everything else starts to fall into place. So here's what I want you to know. Parent training doesn't have to drain you. You don't need 6 new strategies every week. You don't need handouts for every single session. You need one thread, one goal that really matters to the family, one rhythm that gives the learning time to breathe. That's what the parent learning arc gives you. And if you want a system that builds the arc for you, Achieve does that. The lessons, the goals, the progress tracking, it's all there. It makes the threading automatic. But you don't need to wait for a system. You can start using this today. Choose one strategy and stick with it. Shape your next 3 or more sessions around that one idea. Use a voice memo if your brain's too full to hold it all. Give yourself permission to go deeper instead of wider, because this isn't about working harder. It's about working with intention. And the moment that you do, the session shifts and the parent shifts. and the pressure you've been carrying starts to lift. If you want to see exactly how this plays out in a real life setting where I had to build a whole parent training program without ever entering the home, watch the next video, how I built a robust parent training program that worked, even without home-based services. I'll walk you through it and you'll see that even with constraints, this kind of structure is possible and it works.